Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Two Blue Vortex discussion. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about that cliffhanger ending that we had at the end of the last manga chapter, which is now that we've seen Boruto achieve his goal of confirming exactly where the 10 tails is that Code has had hidden. We have a big question on our hands, which is how will Boruto get to that dimension? It's something I've seen a lot of you guys bring up in the comment section, enough so that I thought that this needed to be covered in a video. When we ended the chapter, we ended it off with Boruto weaving a hand seal like he was preparing some type of a jutsu, which has led to speculation about the jutsu he's going to use. And I want to cover what you guys seem to believe that he's using at the start of the next Boruto chapter when he finally makes his move. One of the most popular beliefs is that Boruto is going to use the flying Raijin to teleport to Ishiki's dimension where Code is currently at. The reason people are suggesting that this is the case is that Boruto appears to have been making the same hand seal that Minato made at times when he used the flying Raijin, which is a reminder Minato has been shown using that jutsu with hand seals and no hand seals. Now, from a narrative perspective, while it would be extremely cool to see Boruto learn his grandfather's signature jutsu, there are some big problems with this possibility if this happens, but for full disclaimer, I actually love the idea suggested here. Boruto, since early on in the series, has been compared to his grandfather Minato, and as more time has gone on, we see that praise and the comparison to Minato that people like Kakashi have made between Boruto and Minato is definitely warranted. Just as we saw Minato be stated in the Minato one-shot manga to be someone who learns complex ninjutsu super fast according to Kushina, we saw the same thing with Boruto, enough to the point a common joke is Minato's genetics were so overpowered that his intelligence skipped down from Naruto and went straight to Boruto. However, if Boruto learned the flying Raijin during the 3-year time skip, I'm calling BS on this, and by saying I'm calling BS, I mean it might be worthy of a rant, so allow me to explain. It's not bad because Boruto's learning a complex jutsu such as the flying Raijin. I'm not saying that's the case. If anything, it's to be expected of Boruto in all honesty, because Boruto is as big of a genius as he is, you expect him to gobble up complex jutsu at the same rate as his grandfather. And really, even potentially even faster, given that the Naruto narrative trope is that the next generation surpasses the ones before it. The same with Boruto not possessing the massive chakra reserve needed to perform the flying Raijin, because you're still going to have some people saying that he's not going to have enough chakra. I disagree. Before he started using karma, his reserves are already higher than your standard Jonin, which, reminder, standard Jonin isn't someone like, say, Rock Lee or someone like Kakashi or whatever Jonin you want to think of from Naruto. Those are exceptions to the rule for the most part. Exceptions don't make the standard. And with Boruto having Momoshiki's Chroma Seal, his chakra levels easily meet the requirement to begin spamming the flying Raijin itself. Where I do take some issue with this potentially being flying Raijin is that there's nobody realistically to teach Boruto the jutsu. It will be an ass pull. Contrary to the mistaken belief a lot of people have, there are characters in universe alive right now who know how to use the flying Raijin. Genma and the other personal guards for the 4th and the 5th Hokage know the jutsu, as Genma and his team revealed during the war when they teleported Mei, the 5th Mizukage, to the battlefield. They said they just don't have Minato's monster chakra reserves, and so they need to pull their chakra together to perform the basic jutsu. They use the Flying Thunder God formation, is still the Flying Thunder God. However, what exactly would be the problem, you might be asking? Well, none of those people are going to teach Boruto flying Raijin. After all, why would they? Boruto is not recognized as Naruto's son because of the Shinjutsu omnipotence. Everyone thinks that he killed the 7th Hokage, who is the son of the 4th Hokage that they were the guardian for. They'd be disrespecting Minato inside of their minds if they taught that jutsu to the boy that they believe actually killed Minato's son. Now, to play devil's advocate, is it possible that someone was in the process of teaching Boruto the jutsu off screen before all this stuff with Ada happened? Absolutely sure. You could easily write that into the narrative. Just have Genma or one of the other 2 guards be revealed to have been teaching Boruto the mechanics of the jutsu because they saw Boruto and thought the same thing as Kakashi. This kid is the second coming of the 4th Hokage. That would make Boruto the 4th person in the village who knows how to use the jutsu after the 3 Hokage guards, which is a reminder, Naruto does not know flying Raijin. Viz Media screwed up the translation in Naruto chapter 700, but instead of going further, I refer you to my video why Naruto doesn't know the flying Raijin. Could you even argue that Sasuke using the Sharingan was able to break down the mechanics of the jutsu ninjutsu after seeing Tobirama and Minato spam it? Sure, but that stretches the lore in a bad way and it makes a lot of plot inconsistency. Could you go the route that this is a shinjutsu that Momoshiki knew but he never actually mastered it and Boruto was the one who actually pulled it off? Absolutely, you could go that right as well. All ninjutsu were stated by Amato to be a cheap imitation of shinjutsu, so flying Raijin would fall in that category, and if Boruto learned something Momoshiki wasn't able to do, it completely lines up with Boruto's character narrative. However, if that happens, while it would narratively work and pay off all the comparisons to Code's claw marks being like the flying Raijin, I think you have to be careful with that because it runs the risk of cheapening what is already established in universe if it's not actually explained properly. The next thing I've seen people say is that Boruto is preparing to vanish from plain sight by using a very iconic maneuver that goes back to the early days of Naruto, which is the body flicker jutsu, which is another jutsu that can be performed with and without hand seals. Basically, the high-speed movement to get out the situation super fast. We've seen Kakashi and Jiraiya use it for gag moments in Naruto's anime, and Shisui uses it in filler scenes in Shippuden. However, in the manga, Shisui was known as Shisui the body flicker, or according to the Viz Media translation, Shisui the teleporter. According to the first Naruto databook, the Rin no Sho databook, the amount of chakra used for the body flicker depends on the distance one wants to travel to. The shorter distance that you're going, the quicker the speed you move at. However, I don't think this is going to likely be the case with the jutsu Boruto's using because it presents the problem of how would body flicker allow for Boruto to get into a dimension like that. The only way this works is if he combines it with his karma, which that in of itself defeats the whole purpose of the body flicker, unless he plans to run away from Kawaki first, then teleport via the karma by keeping Kawaki from interfering with his plan. Potentially he uses the karma seal and then uses the body flicker right after that to speed blitz Code. That could be an option. What I've seen people suggest is that Boruto is preparing to reverse summon by having the toad that's stashed away onto Code's body without Code realizing that this is the case and have that toad summoning. This one I could actually see being the case for a few different reasons. The first is that this allows for Boruto to enter into the dimension without having to worry about wasting his own chakra, since it will be the toad performing the jutsu form. It would also allow him to get into that dimension in a way that maintains the element of surprise to body Code again, and then go take down the Ten Tails and maintain a larger amount of your chakra while doing so. Finally, it is a logical method for entering into Ishiki's time space. The only question we have is, can the reverse summoning jutsu work in an Otsutsuki dimension in the first place, just given how much chakra is required to enter into an Otsutsuki dimension? However, it is worth noting that Kashin Koji was able to get himself out of there when he was fighting against Ishiki. However, and we saw that in Boruto's anime in Boruto episode 281, that room that Ishiki and Kashin Koji were fighting in was someplace that was still in the earthly realm. It was not in an Otsutsuki dimension. Now, the next thing that I do see some people saying is that Boruto is in a situation where he's preparing to simultaneously use his karma to go into Ishiki's dimension and then perform a ninjutsu, time for the exact moment that Boruto steps out the portal to maximize the element of surprise so that he can take the Ten Tails main body or incapacitate Code and then attack the Ten Tails body. Based off of everything we've seen from Boruto so far, this makes sense if Boruto does go this route. It would continue to make him outsmarting Code for the last two chapters even more impressive because it'll show us that Boruto planned out this entire event all the way into the end and covered every base required to make a fool out of Code in the process. Once again, inviting that comparison to Minato, where he's got that giant brain of his and is adapting to the situation in real time, coming up with counter strategies right there on the spot to fit the situation. The only hesitation I have with Boruto using the karma seal in this manner is that it appeared as if he wanted to handle the situation of the Ten Tails on his own and not involve Kawaki, and you have to believe that there is a reason for him doing that because Boruto possesses Momoshiki's ability of limited foresight of the future. He can see snapshots of the future, so there's a chance that Boruto has a reason for wanting to keep Kawaki away from the Ten Tails, perhaps to try and protect Kawaki from the Ten Tails or protect Kawaki from something even darker, since Boruto has told us that everything going on with the Ten Ten Tails now is something that is completely unprecedented. Now, the final thing I've seen people suggest is that Boruto is about to pull the trigger on a jutsu like the Kashin Koji Trance of True Essence Flames to destroy the Ten Tails, since the toad is right there confirming its location, and we see the Ten Tails is being nailed down by the chakra rod, so its body is unprotected, which makes it the perfect target for the jutsu. Since it's similar to Sasuke and Itachi's Amaterasu, the flames do not get put out by water release. They simply continue to burn until the target is destroyed, or until someone like Ishiki shrinks the flames like he did Kashin Koji's flames during their fight, or the flames are absorbed the same way that Jigen absorbed Sasuke's Amaterasu during the fight with Naruto and Sasuke when Jigen used the Karma Seal in episode 204. That certainly could be a possibility. I don't think we can discount any of these options for what Boruto's next move might be, but part of me does feel like we're about to get a major swerve. It feels like there's way too much momentum on the side of Boruto right now. It feels like things are going way too much in his favor, and unless there's something bigger planned for a post-code threat, having the threat of code and the Ten Tails taken care of this early on, it's gonna feel a bit anticlimactic in my opinion, but that might just be me. And really and truly, after seeing code take L after L after L after L after L after L, that might be a video that needs to be done on its own, talking about Code's character. However, I'm curious to know you guys' thoughts on this. While you think that over, click here to watch the Boruto Chapter 3 review if you haven't already.